Hello, welcome back to Luna Rosa Ranch. So I wanted to give an update on how Chili's doing. He's been under saddle for about a month now, but we haven't been riding every day continuously. He got a little bit sour, I would say, at the mounting block, so we took a week off, redid some positive reinforcement, and then came back to it. Now we're working on just mostly walk work and understanding the cues that we're establishing or new communication in the ridden work and a soft feel. So to me, I think a soft feel is the main difference between English riding and Western riding. In English riding, I'm not going to speak for every discipline of English riding, but in general, you have some amount of pressure and direct contact on the reins at all times, and use either a direct rein or supporting indirect rein to do your steering. Now, that's not the case for everyone. There are some riders that do use the leg aids more or less, but in Western riding, I think a key difference is the ability to walk the horse out on an completely loose rein and gather up a soft feel slowly more as the horse develops. So I am working with Chili on just understanding what a soft feel is at in very small intervals, just flexing at the pole and then giving it right back. And then the rest of his time, I want him to walk out on a loose rein and listen to steering commands from my seat, legs, and intentions. So I have an idea in mind of what I'm working towards, and I want to eventually have a one-handed horse that's that follows the tradition of the California vaqueros. So I want to have a one-handed horse that is operating off of a soft feel. I mean, I have that image in my mind when I'm going through this. So what that takes is hundreds and thousands of repetitions of gathering a soft feel, which we see here. I gather it and then give it right back, and gather it and give it right back. And I don't do it over and over and over again. I do it, give them a few strides to think about it, and then try it again. Eventually, that's going to lead into holding a soft feel for longer and longer, and it'll lead into collection. But I don't want to start out or ride at any time with a consistent, say, 2 pounds of pressure on the reins, or maybe 3 pounds of pressure on the reins, or insert number here. I don't want to have that be my baseline, because I want my baseline to be a feather. I want to eventually be able to affect change in my horse's posture with an ounce of pressure. And I'm never going to get there if I start out at a baseline higher than that, if that makes sense. So I want to start out with no pressure at all and then slowly build. So to do that, I need to have my horse operating primarily from my seat and leg. I try to do that 90% of the time. So we practice a little bit of the soft feel, and then now I work on steering control. So I first set my intention to where I'd like to go, my eyes, my seat, and then I apply my leg aid. And then if that doesn't get the job done, I give a little bit of a hint with a direct rein right now. So we've only been working on this part maybe 4 sessions. So we do a couple circles, and then I come, give him plenty of time in between where he just gets to chill out and be a horse, walk around on the end of a loose rein. Then I point him across the diagonal. We already have a pretty good walk going. And the other reason for training in this way too is to eventually have a horse that's one-handed. So classical dressage used to be for military purposes, so they wanted a horse that was one-handed, to use a sword, among other things. And it used to be the method to train horses primarily off the seat and legs as well, Western riding, obviously you want to have a one-handed horse so that you could be able to rope off of them, use your hand to open gates, etc. And I think it's a bit more challenging, but I think honestly the horses like the less you hold their mouth, the more they like it. So it's a little bit more nerve-wracking for the person, I think, to be able to give up that control. If you were used to the other way, I mean. And then here we teeter him on back. I change my seat bones and sit back on my pockets a bit to prepare him to stop. Then we stopped, and then I'm going to teeter him on back into a few back steps and give a big release each time he gives me a nice step. Eventually we'll be more particular about wanting speed and wanting his head to stay down, but we aren't concerned about any of that right now. Just nice soft feel and that he's light and responsive. Now I'm going to work on doing a little bit of a smaller serpentine than I have in any of the other prior days. So I shift my weight, my seat, my eyeballs, and add my leg aid. Try to do a smaller 10-meter circle. If he doesn't quite get it done, I give a little bit of vibration on that inside rein to get him around. And then we get back to the middle, and I shift completely to the opposite set of aids and do the same thing again. And eventually he'll take me up on just following a feel with my leg, maybe even with my intention. But right now, I'm totally cool with him needing a little extra support. May be boring, we might not be kicking up a lot of dust, but you sure can get a lot done in the walk. You really can. You don't gotta race around and do all kinds of crazy stuff on the babies to get them pretty well educated. And I've started to add in asking for him to move the hindquarters over, just one step or two steps at a time. I ask for it, add my leg, and then if he gives me a little bit of a step, we go right into relaxation. And then however long it takes him to figure out the problem, he's trying to solve the puzzle of what I want, because I have not asked for this before. So however long it takes him to figure out that I want, he knows he's supposed to move off my leg, but he doesn't know exactly what he's supposed to do. So however long it takes him to figure out that I was asking for him to move his hindquarters over when I place my leg there is how long I try to stop and relax for. Give him some time to think on what he just did, that was the right answer. And then we try it a little bit the other way. And he's a little bit stickier this way. Hasn't figured it out, but I'm not just tapping with rhythm lightly. I'm not kicking him. My leg isn't moving all over the place. I'm just enough to irritate him to tell him he needs to figure out the solution. There he gave kind of a step. But it'll get better and better as the days go on. And I'm not worried about him doing some walk steps. I mean, we'll be pickier about all that kind of stuff in the future, but I just want the right answer, and as soon as he gets it, we tell him he's a good boy. And he gets plenty of time to sit and think. And there we go. Good step. Eventually we want control of all the feet. But we're super proud of them. Thanks for watching.